The dining room table gleamed under the chandelier's soft glow, its polished surface reflecting the flicker of 2 taper candles I'd lit an hour ago. A bottle of Merlot sat unopened, its label staring at me like an accusation. The clock on the wall ticked past 8, each second a needle pricked to my patience. I adjusted the silverware again, aligning the forks with military precision, as if order could tether the unease coiling in my gut. Tonight was our 5th anniversary, and Sarah was late. Not just late, missing. Her text from 2 hours ago burned in my mind. Running late, babe. Out with the girls. Forgot it was tonight, sorry. Forgot. The word stung like a slap. I'd spent weeks planning this. Reserving her favorite duck confit at the butcher. Practicing the recipe until the kitchen smelled of rosemary and regret. My fingers brushed the velvet box in my pocket, the weight of the sapphire pendant I'd chosen for her pressing against my thigh. She'd forgotten, but I hadn't. I never did. The apartment felt too quiet, the kind of silence that hums with secrets. I poured a glass of water, the clink of ice cubes sharp against the stillness. My phone sat dark on the table, no new messages. I opened it anyway, scrolling through her text thread, searching for something I might have missed. The last few weeks played in my head like a grainy film reel. Sarah's late nights at the office, her phone face down on the counter, the way her laugh felt rehearsed when I asked about her day. Small things easily dismissed. She was stressed, I'd told myself. Her promotion was demanding. I was being paranoid. But now, sitting alone with a cooling plate of duck, paranoia felt like truth. I stood, pacing the hardwood floor, my footsteps echoing like a metronome. The city skyline glittered through the window, a mosaic of lights that usually felt romantic, but tonight looked cold, distant. I tried calling her again. Straight to voicemail. Her cheery recorded voice, "Hey, it's Sarah, leave a message," felt like a stranger's. I didn't leave one. Instead, I opened the group chat with her friends, the one she'd added me to last summer. My thumbs hovered over the keyboard, then typed. "Hey, is Sarah with you guys? Just checking in." Minutes crawled by. No response. The candles dripped wax onto the tablecloth, forming tiny, hardened pools. I opened Instagram, her profile loading instantly. Habit, not suspicion, I told myself. Her last story was from yesterday, a selfie at her office, her smile bright but her eyes tired. Nothing from tonight. I scrolled through her followers, pausing on a name I didn't recognize at Jake Morrison. His profile was private, but his bio read, Creative Director NYC. Living for the moment. A knot tightened in my chest. I clicked back to her page, my thumb freezing over a photo from 2 weeks ago. A blurry shot of her at a bar, laughing. A man's arm slung casually around her shoulders. The caption, "Work hard, play hard." I hadn't thought twice about it then. Now it felt like a clue. The doorbell buzzed, sharp and jarring. My heart lurched. Sarah? I crossed the room in 3 strides, yanking the door open. It was Emily, her best friend, standing in the hallway, her coat dusted with rain. Her face was pale, lips pressed tight. "Mark," she said, her voice low, almost a whisper. "We need to talk." My stomach dropped. Is Sarah okay? Where is she? Emily stepped inside, avoiding my eyes. She's fine. Physically, I mean. She hesitated, clutching her purse like a lifeline. Can we sit? I led her to the couch, my pulse hammering. The air felt thick, like it was pressing against my skin. What's going on, Em? She said she was with you. Emily's gaze flicked to the dining table, the untouched meal, the candles. She's not with us, she said finally. She hasn't been with us in weeks. The words landed like a punch. I sank onto the couch, my hands gripping my knees. What are you talking about? She's been out with you every Friday. She told me. She lied. Emily's voice cracked, her eyes glistening. I didn't want to be the one to tell you, Mark. I kept hoping she'd come clean herself. My throat tightened, a bitter taste rising. Come clean about what? Emily looked away, her fingers twisting the strap of her purse. She's been seeing someone. Jake from her office. I saw them together last month at a bar in Soho. They didn't know I was there. I confronted her, and she begged me not to tell you. Said it was a mistake, that she'd end it. But, she trailed off, her silence louder than words. The room tilted. I gripped the couch, the fabric rough under my palms. Jake. The arm in the photo. The late nights. The forgotten anniversary. It all clicked, each piece a shard of glass in my chest. How long? I asked, my voice hoarse. I don't know. A few months, maybe. Emily's voice was barely audible. I'm so sorry, Mark. I didn't know how to tell you. Anger surged, hot and sharp, but beneath it was something heavier, grief, raw and unmoored. I thought of Sarah's laugh, the way she'd curl into me on the couch, her head on my chest. Was it all a lie? Or had I missed something? Failed her somehow? My mind raced, replaying every moment, every excuse. I'd rationalized it all. Convinced myself love meant trust, meant forgiveness. But this wasn't a forgotten dinner or a missed call. This was betrayal, deliberate and cruel. Why tonight? I asked, my voice breaking. Why tell me now? Emily swallowed hard. Because she's with him right now. I saw her Instagram story. Accidentally posted, then deleted. They're at the Blue Haven Hotel. I couldn't let you sit here, waiting while she stopped, tears spilling over. The Blue Haven. 2 blocks away. My vision blurred, rage and heartbreak colliding. I grabbed my coat, the velvet box still in my pocket, its weight now a mockery. I'm going, I said, the words sounding distant, like someone else's voice. Mark, wait. Emily started. But I was already out the door. The night air was sharp, rain slicking the pavement as I walked, then ran, toward the hotel. Neon signs blurred past, their colors bleeding into the wet streets. My mind churned. Part of me wanted to scream, to confront her, to demand answers. Another part wanted to turn back, to pretend Emily had never come. But my feet kept moving, driven by a need to see, to know. The Blue Haven's lobby glowed with warm light, all marble and velvet, a stark contrast to the storm in my chest. I scanned the bar, my breath ragged. There she was at a corner table, her hair catching the dim light. Jake sat across from her, his hand on hers, their faces close, intimate. She laughed, and it was a sound I'd thought was mine alone. I stood frozen, the world narrowing to that moment. Then she looked up, her eyes meeting mine. Her smile vanished, replaced by something raw, guilt, fear, maybe love. She stood, knocking over her glass, wine pooling like blood on the table. Mark, she said, her voice trembling. I can explain. But I didn't stay to hear it. I turned, the sapphire pendant heavy in my pocket, and walked back into the rain. Behind me, her voice called my name, but it was drowned by the city's hum, by the sound of my own heart breaking.